Hi everyone, this is Micheline. Thank you for stopping by my channel again today. For you today I have my first project share, my holiday shaker card. So here I'm starting off by showing you some of the items that I'll be using. I have this snowflake stamp set from Hampton Arts, showing you that I'll be using one of the larger snowflakes and then the smallest snowflake on the stamp set. Here I am with my acrylic blocks for those two stamps. And of course I'm also going to be using the Versamark stamp pad in order to stamp my snowflake images. You guys have to forgive me, I'm still getting orientated to using the camera, so I might be showing some things upside down. Again, just trying to get comfortable with the recording. So here I go, starting by inking up the stamp with the Versamark and just placing it randomly on my white cardstock. Now, I'm pretty sure everybody's familiar with how to stamp on cardstock and using the Versamark ink. So I'm not showing you anything new. But for me, this is all pretty new, so I'm trying my hand at several different things, and this being one of them. So there, I'm just looking to see if I've covered enough of the card with that big snowflake stamp, and making sure I've got good placement for that one before I use the smaller stamp. So just getting everything into position there. And then, of course, cleaning off that stamp with some water and my wipey. Just getting it cleaned up before I start to stamp with the smaller stamp that I have. And again, just randomly placing the smaller stamp, filling in the spaces on the card to create a cute design for my holiday shaker tag. And again, just looking to make sure that I have everything placed where I want it. And now to clean up that stamp. I know one of the things I have to learn about videotaping is how to fast forward, so pretty soon I hope to master that as well, so my videos aren't that long. So here we go, I'm showing you the embossing powder that I'm going to be using. This is the Recollections brand, and it's called Snow. And we're going to, of course, just pour the embossing powder over my card, covering all of the stamped images that I just put down, and making sure it's completely covered. And again, I'm sure everybody's familiar with embossing, using embossing powders and so forth. And I just wanted to try this technique. I thought this would be pretty. I hope it will turn out to be pretty. And just getting familiar with embossing and embossing powders. So here I am going to shake off all of the excess powder, making sure that my image is completely covered, and then tapping off of the excess using my handy dandy paintbrush. And also using the paintbrush to get rid of any stray embossing powder that's on the card itself. Now just going to put all of that excess back into the container. It's really neat how the embossing powder just goes a long way. Completely covering the card and then still be able to use what was left over for a later time. So again, just checking my card to get rid of any of the excess powder before I start to use the heat tool, and making sure everything is covered as it needs to be covered. Okay. Now getting my heat gun and using the end of my paintbrush there, just holding down the card and applying the heat to the embossed image. And I am pleasantly surprised to see how pretty these snowflakes turn out with the embossing and the embossing powder. As you can see, maybe not too clearly, but you can see the image start to just appear on the card. And oh, it was just such a nice feeling to see that it actually worked. So just finishing up there. And going to show you how it all looks. And look at that. Oh, isn't that pretty? Hopefully you guys can see that. Such a pretty image that appeared from that. So in just a minute, I'll show you what else I'll be doing with the tag. So here we go. I'm going to use my watercolor paint set. I won this paint set from Blitsy.com months and months ago, and this is the first time I'm actually breaking it out to use it other than just looking at it. It's from Prima Marketing, and it's the Watercolor Confections collection in the colors Tropical. And so I'm going to just be trying my hand at a little bit of watercolor over my embossed image here. So right now I'm just trying to figure out what color I'm going to use. I had no idea what the actual water and the color together would really give me, so I'm just looking to see what I can put together real quick. And so I tried a green, and then I tried a blue color, and of course because of the snowflakes I choose the blue color. So I'm just going over my card and over my image. Again, I don't quite know how to do watercolor, but I'm trying my hand to see how this image will, what will happen with this image with the watercolors added to it. I was hoping to get a nice kind of soft wintry blue background with the embossed snowflakes coming through. So as we continue, we'll see what the tag looks like once I get my watercolor image done here, or my watercoloring done. So just continuing to add the color to the card. And I have absolutely no technique whatsoever, but just by applying it to the areas of the card, covering all of it as much as I could. I know I'm definitely going to be looking into more watercoloring and how to do it, developing some technique and so forth, because I think this is really a good medium to use for like when you want to make backgrounds for cards or for pages or just backgrounds in general. So continuing here, making sure to get the edges of my tag. And now just to clean up my mess. Clean up my spill there. Okay, and while I'm there, I'm like, okay, I still need to get some of the edging and some spots in there that I may have missed. Adding a little more the color, not so much with the water, but just getting a little more of the color saturation there. I really like doing the watercolor. It was really neat to see how the background just came together, and how with the embossed snowflakes, it was really pretty. I know you can't see it very well from this shot, but it is very pretty in person. So just continuing with that, adding a little more water so I can get a little bit lighter blue color to apply to the tag. And I'd like to apologize for the shadow of the camera that you see there on top of the mat. I'm filming in my office at night, and I see that this could be a problem, having this shadow, so I'll have to figure out something else. Alright, so now I'm going to move on to the next step in making my shaker card, so just 1 minute. Alright, so here I am. My shaker card is finished as far as the embossing and the watercolor background. And now I'm showing you the shaker bits that I'm going to be using for this card. I have some seed beads and some sequins. I'm going to use those white sequins there and those blue ones. And here I have my page protector that I'm going to use to be the holder for the shaker bits and my tag. And there I have a dryer sheet that I'm going to use just before I put in the sequins to remove any static from the pocket page. Here I am putting in my tag, just making sure to get proper placement inside of the pocket protector, the page protector. And just 1 second, because I realized that I wanted to give this shaker tag a little bit more shimmer. And what I have there is my very own glitter mist. From watching another YouTuber, I found out how you could make your own homemade glimmer mist, and that's what I have there in that bottle. So I sprayed it first to get the mist itself, and then I'm just dabbing some of it onto the tag as well to get some bigger droplets of the glimmer mist. So then I'm going to go and let that dry, and then here I am and showing you again the image. You really can't see the glimmer mist, but in person it's really pretty, beautiful shimmer on the card. So here I'm putting it again back into my page protector, getting the placement for where I'm going to be using my fuse tool to close off one of the sides of that pocket protector. Now here is that ruler that you use with the We Are Memory Keepers fuse tool, and I know I'm using it upside down, but I prefer it that way. I think the little rubberized feet, for me, they kind of get in my way. I sometimes just, in making adjustments with the ruler, the feet, kind of get in my way. So I use the ruler upside down. Forgive me, but it does work for me. And something I realized just right there is that I had not protected my mat. I have something that I use to put down to cover my mat, and I forgot to use it. And there it is. I did find it. It's just a piece of cardboard that I use when I use the fuse tool in order to protect my mat. So here I am just trimming down the page protector, so you know, I have better control with the tag itself. So just cutting it down with my scissors there and getting that out of the way. So now I have a much smaller piece to work with. Making sure again that the placement of my tag is appropriate. And now I'm going to use the dryer sheet. Using the dryer sheet, again, I learned this from another YouTuber, just to get rid of any static that may be in between the sheet. For when you put in your shaker bits, they don't just, you know, get stuck to the card or stuck to the plastic of the page protector. So now I'm just putting back in my shaker card, or putting back in the card and getting it placed correctly or appropriately in the pocket. And now I am trying so hard, desperately hard, to open this bottle of the sequins, and it was so hard. Right there I thought I broke my nail, but finally, yay, I got the bottle open. This container I got from the dollar store. Is a set of 6 for $1, and they truly do work very well to hold sequins and such. And as you can tell, the cap doesn't really come off too easy, but it, you know, just have to work at it a little bit. So here I am adding my sequins, and I put in the blue and the white, and adding a touch of silver here to pick up some of the silver or the shimmer that's on that card. Again, I wish you guys could see it. There will be at the end some still shots so you can see the silver in the actual card being picked up, of course, with the silver. I'm sorry, with this with the silver sequins in the pocket. So I also added some seed beads there, and again, now I'm adjusting the card, making sure that all of the shaker pieces are in front of the card and nothing has gone to the back. And making some adjustments again, just making sure everything is in the proper place, and using my upside down ruler and fusing that side of the shaker card. Sorry guys if you hear any noise from the outside. Sounds like they've got neighbors have come home in their trucks, so I'm sorry if you hear that in the background. So here I am, I've got all of my sides sealed up of my shaker tag, and I'm checking to make sure that it is all completely sealed all the way around. Shaking around everything inside of that tag, making sure that my sequins aren't sticking to the pocket or sticking to the card, and just making sure I got everything to shake like it's supposed to for this holiday shaker tag. And here I realized that in doing the first fuse on the one side, it's not really close enough to the card itself, so I'm just making another pass with the fuse tool a little bit closer to the card, And then I'm just going to be cutting away the excess from the shaker tag itself. Yep, and there we go. We're going to just trim away the excess. And making sure that not to get it too close to the fused part of the pocket there, because if you do, then that'll open up the pocket and you have to start all over again. Alright, so there we go, all trimmed up, and we have the tag ready to go. So on to the next piece. Here I am using my Evolution die cutting machine. I think I bought this machine, gosh, probably about 4 or 5 months ago, and I got it for a great deal at Tuesday Morning. So I'm using it here to cut out a die that I'm going to use to be on the front of my holiday shaker card. This is a great little machine. Of course, something that's also new to me is die cutting, but I'm enjoying it. I'm liking how it's doing what it needs to do. And here I am showing you the die that I cut out, my deer head. I really like that little image. So right now I am placing my image, and I have a couple of tags that I had bought at Tuesday Morning, showing you that there. They're by Remarks. And there's a couple of sentiments on those tags that I like that I was thinking of adding to the shaker tag. And the first one that I'm looking at was the one that said "Let It Snow." And I went ahead and I took it off and trying to see how it's going to look here on the card. And as I'm taking a look at it, I decide, yeah, I'm not really liking that one. So I went to the next one, and that one had a little snowflake on it as well, so I kind of like that one a little bit better. And now I'm just trying to determine how to place my little sentiment tag and my little die cut. And pretty soon going to put it here into position. And these are already on some foam dots so that, you know, pops them up off of the tag a little bit. So what I'm going to do as well with my die cut is to also add some foam elements to pop it up off of the shaker tag as well. So here are my dots, and I'm not going to use the dots so much as I'm going to use like the pieces from the other dots that I've used. And because these are a little bit, you know, I can cut these down a little bit skinnier and be able to use the whole sheet of foam instead of, you know, just the dots that come on the sheet. So, you know, just stretching my stash a little bit. So here I am just removing that adhesive and placing the foam piece on my die cut. And another piece there. And getting those little pieces of paper off of the adhesive can be, oh, so it's such an issue. You're trying to get it done, and even though I have, nails, it's still a little bit difficult to get off sometimes. So there I am placing my die cut on top of my holiday tag, and I'm showing you what it looks like there. And again, making sure my shaker bits are shaking. So on to the next part. I'm going to be adding my some ribbon. I want to add some ribbon to the top of the shaker tag there. So using just a regular hole punch. Actually, it's not a regular hole punch. It's a very small hole punch. And right now I'm making sure to line up the shaker tag to find the middle, so I can put the hole right in the middle of the card. So I punched the hole, and now I'm going to open up this cord that I had gotten from the Target dollar spot. And I like it because it's shimmery silver and it looks like tinsel. And trying to get it off of the roll. There we go. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, wow, it's really thick, and I'm not sure that it's going to go through the hole. But I also thought that I could take it apart, so that's what I'm trying to figure out here, thinking that I could just take it apart and use a piece of it. But as it turns out, that's not the case. It is going to be too thick for me to use as on my shaker tag. So here in just a minute, I'm going to decide on using something else. Okay, so I had two options to choose from. I have this like jute cord, and I thought that would be kind of nice to tie in the color with the sentiment. And then I had a little white and silver shimmery ribbon. So I'm going to go with the ribbon. I like that a little bit better. And I'm just making sure that I have it doubled in half here so I can get it through the hole. Now this is a tiny hole that I made with the hole punch. And I'm using just a little tool here to push the ribbon through the hole, just to assist me to get it through. And because I don't have, I believe it's called the Crop-A-Dile, that's on my wish list. Because I don't have a Crop-A-Dile to use with the eyelet, I have to use a tiny hole punch so my shaker bits don't come through the hole or anything. So there we go, getting the ribbon through the hole, and now just going to adjust that, pull it through, and make sure that it is secured very well. And going to tie it off, make a nice little bow. Like so. And making sure it's knotted very well. And then I will just trim the ends so they're not such long pieces. There we go, all trimmed up. And just making sure that I have it all tied neatly, the knot is secure, and making sure that everything looks okay on my holiday shaker tag. Just like so. And there we are, my holiday shaker tag is complete.